Sunday. Today is meal prep day for me, so I have a few things that I'm going to make for you guys today. So yeah, let's just get into it. So here is what I'm going to need for my red curry: some Trader Joe's coconut milk, some red curry paste. I'm going to put in onions and garlic and bell peppers, broccoli, mushrooms, some tofu. I thought I had fresh ginger, but I am out, so I will use a little bit of ground ginger. I love the flavor of ginger in curries, which this of course has some of that flavor, but I will be adding some more. This is what I need to get chopped up and going in a pan, so I'm going to do all that now. The quinoa just started to boil, so before I turn it down to simmer, since it's going with our curry, I'm going to put in some salt and some ginger. Normally I would just put in like a little piece of raw ginger, a fresh ginger, but since I don't have any, like I mentioned about the veggies, I'm going to just put in a little bit of the fresh along with the salt. It'll just give it a little bit more of some fragrance and some flavor once it's done cooking. So now that will simmer for about 15 minutes. Turn on the garlic and the onions to start sweating a little bit. I don't use any oil when I do dishes like this because there's going to be fat that's added from the coconut milk, and I just don't think it's necessary when you're getting vegetables to soften a little bit. And since we're going to simmer it, most of them will cook in there. I just want to sweat these a little bit to get the flavor that you get from onions and garlic when you do that. So I will do that while I finish chopping up the rest of the veggies. I should have used a bigger pan. I still have a whole block of tofu to get in there. So, but oh my goodness, doesn't that look good? All right, so that is gonna come up to temperature. I'm gonna chop up my tofu and get that tossed in. So, like I said, as you can see, I should have used a bigger pot, but just get this tossed in as best we can, and then I'm just going to put a lid on this, and this is a really full pot. It's okay, as it cooks, the veggies will shrink a little bit and it'll cook down. So I'm just going to get this kind of smashed down and the lid on, and we will start simmering. Doesn't that look good though? Alright, moment of truth. Can it go on? Sort of. Good enough. We will just let this simmer as long as we can before the veggies get too soft. So, yeah, I'll show you what that looks like when I put it into my meals, but I'm just going to leave this, and I'll be back in a little bit to make another meal. So now I am just going to cook up a tofu scramble to go in some tortillas for my first meal of the day. So in the pan I have some coconut oil that I get from Garden of Life. It is the best tasting coconut oil I've ever found. So this is really just, move you closer. All I'm really doing right now is legit crumbling up the tofu into the pan. So tofu can take a lot of spice because it is completely flavorless. So the first thing I'm putting on is some pink Himalayan salt. So I put that on. Just some fresh ground black pepper in there. And then this is probably the most important part, is garlic powder. This to me gives it that flavor that with the salt, it's just delicious. Also, one thing I'm going to add in, I don't usually add this in, but I just picked some up because I was out. Just some ground turmeric. I don't mind that tofu looks like tofu, but I know some people like it to look a little bit more yellow like regular eggs. So I'm going to add in some of this organic turmeric, and not too much, but that'll just give it a nice yellow color. Just sprinkle a little bit of that in, and turmeric has a zillion health benefits that I'm not even going to get into right now. But just add a little bit of that in there, and that's what we're looking like. I'm just stirring this up here, stirring all the spices in, and you can see how that turmeric makes this stuff completely yellow, and it kind of looks like scrambled eggs. Right, I added in some yellow and red bell pepper. I'm also going to add in a bit of cayenne pepper, just a little bit, just for a little bit of heat to it, like barely any. A little of this goes a long way. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of frozen spinach. I prefer fresh, but I just have this on hand, so I'm going to throw in some of that, which is not super duper appetizing, but as it melts I'll be able to stir it all around. And I also have some organic mixed baby kale that is fresh, and I'm going to throw in a bunch of that as well. So get this all stirred, get that spinach melted up, and I will show you what it looks like once I am finished with this part of the meal, and I'll show you what we do to assemble them. So I have these carb balanced soft taco tortillas. I just love these. I put one of those in each one of these containers. Sorry, my dog is playing with the squeaky toy, if you can hear that. And then on the bottom of each tortilla, I put a little bit of these vegetarian refried beans. I would like to start making my own beans, so if you have a really good recipe for pinto beans or refried beans like this, let me know. But in the meantime, that stuff's pretty good. So I am just going to dole out this onto these 5 containers evenly, and that's going to be it. I think I'll probably sprinkle a little bit of nutritional yeast on top, actually. So that goes in here, and then this goes on there. So yeah, those are just gonna go in the fridge, and these just fold up really nice, heat them up. I probably will put a ton of tapatio and maybe some more kale or spinach on them when I eat them each day. But yeah, I would say those look pretty tasty. Next meal here, I have some of these Beyond Meat chicken strips. There's actually a whole pack in there, so it's 3 servings. So I have that cooking up. I'm going to add in some of this vegetable stir fry that has all kinds of good stuff: broccoli, snap peas, green beans, carrots, celery, water chestnuts, onions, and red peppers. So, and some extra broccoli because I love broccoli. So I'm going to add that into here. The seasoning that I will use is this stuff. It is actually the steak seasoning from Grill Mates, which is not what you would expect, I suppose, for faux chicken and veggies. But this stuff is amazing. It's basically just a bunch of pepper and garlic. So that's what I'm going to season all of this with. I may add a little extra garlic powder because that's pretty standard for me to add. And then back here, I'm just boiling some water. I'm going to cook up just some jasmine rice that's going to go with this meal. So this is going to be kind of my bro meal of the week, you could say. So I'm going to get this all put together, and I will package up 3 of these meals in a minute, and I'll show you when this is all done. Here is the finished product. I just divided up the rice and divided up the Beyond Meat chicken and veggies. We have 3 meals right here. These are amazing. I like the yellow, the nice pretty yellow color that the turmeric added. So this is delicious. Oh, I will say I will probably top mine with yellow mustard or reduced sugar ketchup. I know it might sound strange to some of you, but trust me, it's good. So anyways, I will see you in just a few when really I'll see you in 1 second as soon as I start making my next meal. So I use a combination of fine ground and medium ground cornmeal for my polenta. This is just one big, like an overflowing half cup. And you just want to stir it in, and you want to whisk it constantly as you're stirring it in. Otherwise you're going to end up with clumps, and that will be terrible. Nobody likes clumpy polenta. It's so gross. So I couldn't see any of that, sorry. So just want to stir it constantly here for a couple minutes, and then we're going to turn it down lower and let that cook. As you see, it gets thick pretty quick. If you've ever cooked like cream of wheat or cream of rice or like malto meal, that's what polenta reminds me of as far as like the quickness it cooks. But I'm also going to toss in some dried basil. I don't have any fresh right now, which is too bad, but I'm going to toss in some dried basil, as well as some Italian seasoning. And that will give good flavor to our polenta while it's cooking. Alright, so we have our mushrooms going here, our polenta going here. I also added some garlic powder, so there's basil, Italian seasoning, and garlic powder all in the polenta, and I'll just stir that every couple of minutes while it's cooking. The mushrooms are going here. I'm going to add salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of Italian seasoning once they cook down just a little bit. So I also just chopped up some organic tempeh that I added here just to give this dish a little bit of a protein boost. So I'm going to stir these in here and keep cooking this, and then I'm going to add in some organic tomato sauce just to get this cooking a little bit more of a ragu type consistency to go on top of the polenta. Okay, so this is pretty much what we want this to look like. I know it's not the most beautiful thing. As far as the polenta, it's done. I just put in a little bit of some vegan butter. I mean, the flavor, it just really helps. So I just used some of this Earth Balance, put a little bit of that in there. It just gives it that creamy consistency that makes polenta so delicious. Alright, so I added some of that frozen spinach that you saw in my earlier clip. I added some of that into the ragu here. I also went ahead and added some into the polenta because I will put greens anywhere that I can. Also going to use some nutritional yeast, probably in both of these dishes actually. or both of these components. Actually, I think I'm going to put the nutritional yeast in the polenta. This gives it a nice like cheesy flavor. Now, basically all that's going to happen is I am going to put some polenta in a Tupperware and then top it with some of our ragu here. And that's going to be another meal. So I'm going to get that finished and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. All right. So I took the polenta out. I actually put it in the fridge for a couple minutes. And I broke a nail. I like the polenta when it's kind of firm, so you can see I can touch it. So this made way more than I thought it was going to. So I think I'll leave some of this ragu in the fridge and we can eat it with, you know, dinner or something this week. But I'm just going to put some more on this one. Alright, so that was the last thing I just put together. Daniel and I have a ton of meals for the week. I hope that you guys got some good ideas. I'm also, as I'm recording this, hoping that that didn't end up being too long because I kind of went crazy and cooked a lot. I wanted to show you the big meals that I made this week. Hopefully you guys got some good ideas. If you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Just to recap, we have our tofu and veggie curry over quinoa. Here we have the Beyond Meat chicken and veggies over jasmine rice. We have the breakfast burritos with the tofu scramble with veggies and some beans in there and nutritional yeast on top. And then our spinach polenta with a mushroom and tempeh ragu. So, holy cow, you guys.
A lot of meals, but I love to cook and I hope that you got something from this, that it's not hard to put together a bunch of different meals. You don't have to do all of them at once like I do, but even if you just take one of these and give them a try, I hope that this helps you realize that it's not hard to do.